Tuesday, and thanks for joining us this morning as we come to you live from our digital studio. And we're here today because a piece of our equipment decided to take the day off, the week off, so it's getting replaced. And we're so grateful for our amazing engineering team. They have that part coming our way, and it'll be installed this morning. And
like Christmas this afternoon when the
yes.
box opens and
yeah,
parts are
maybe
here.
we'll have to have some eggnog to celebrate that or something for sure. This is also a first alert day, as Ted, you're watching the potential for some strong storms both in northeast Iowa and southeast Minnesota.
Well, celebration after the severe weather concerns are over. We're looking at something after about 4 o'clock today. Strong storms are expected to develop, move in from the west along an approaching cold front. So it is a first alert day. Severe weather risk attached to some of those storms later today with wind and hail and maybe even some heavy rainfall. Right now, here's the current picture. This is from our studio, looking to the southwest. Beautiful blue sky overhead, just a couple of thin cirrus clouds, and already you see all that beautiful sunshine and how warm it is out there. Just shy of 70 degrees already this morning here at the studio. Later today, severe weather risk is level 2 of 5 in the Storm Prediction Center's daily outlook. And so everything in orange, you see those counties are impacted, and the yellow counties in level 1 risk as strong storms are coming in for the west, maybe weakening a little bit as they reach those yellow counties. But large hail damaging winds. The primary concerns, tornadoes not completely impossible with as much as an inch of rain in some of the strongest storms. Right now, looking at quiet weather where we are. Just some thin clouds, but the sunshine will be with us for several hours. Rain to the west, not severe so far, those showers, but eventually there will be some thunderstorms developing ahead of that front that will move into the area in the late afternoon. Right now, it's 65 degrees in Rochester, officially at the airport. La Crosse, 67. Austin, 68. Mason City, 65 degrees. And it is election day in North Iowa. Decorah, one of the cities that be impacted by not just the severe weather, but the primary. So we're looking at the forecast for the polls there in Decorah. Look for some sunshine. The temperature is reaching 83. Late afternoon and evening thunderstorms will be possible. Again, some of those storms may harbor hail and wind threat, and so we'll be watching for some of that later in the afternoon. Overall high temperature of 83 today. South winds at times 25 miles per hour, so a breezy, warm day kind of stirring the air, but you have to feel that humidity. Otherwise, it's going to be another very summer-like day. We've had about 2 of those in a row already this week where we've been having that warm summer humidity and warmth, and we had those storms on Sunday. Another round possible later today, so something that bears watching. And don't forget to download the KTTC weather app if you've not done so already, because it's always helpful to know when, not just when the storms are coming, but if there's a warning in your area, and then it follows you wherever you're going. So if you're not going to be home, wherever you're located, it will let you know if you're in the path of a damaging storm or a dangerous storm. So it's good to have.
Yeah, it is a free tool that you can use to keep your family safe. It really is great. Thank you, Ted. We'll be checking in with you soon. A bill to increase penalties on straw purchases is now law, but one aspect of this may have some gun owners checking their firearms before the end of the year. Governor Tim Walz has just signed a piece of gun legislation into law that also bans binary triggers. Our Quinn Gorham is tracking this from St. Paul.
As a law-abiding gun owner, a hunter, wherever it would be, nothing that has been passed impedes your right to own and possess a firearm in any way.
One of the very first statements from Governor Tim Walz Monday as he sat down in the St. Paul Police Department to sign a gun bill into law. Walz joined members of the law enforcement community who showed their support for the new laws.
This legislation that's being passed today, this bill being signed, is truly an important piece to public safety.
The bill in question does 2 things. First and foremost, it makes it a felony to buy a firearm on behalf of someone else.
This bill increases penalties for straw purchase purposes and makes it easier to prosecute cases where a person has placed a firearm in the hands of a prohibited person.
That aspect of the bill was fairly non-controversial. Republicans backed an increase on straw purchase penalties as early as last year, and there was renewed interest after a shooting in Burnsville took the lives of 3 first responders earlier this year.
We had firefighters that were killed in Burnsville and another one injured last week in Minneapolis. And we need to continue to show our support for our public safety servants.
But another part of the bill bans binary triggers, modifications that allow an increased fire rate on weapons. Republicans called it a poison pill, but law enforcement officers support the addition.
The binary triggers make our communities more dangerous. And when you can shoot more rounds off when you're pulling that trigger, you're more likely to hurt more people. So anything we can do to minimize that and reduce that.
The straw purchase bill was the only bill out of 3 proposed major pieces of gun legislation to pass this year. Reporting in St. Paul, I'm Quinn Gorham.
We're told the binary trigger ban will go into effect January 1st of next year. This is a big day for the state of Iowa as primary elections are happening today. Our Charles Kelly has been monitoring some of the races that people will be casting ballots for and is joining us with a rundown of some of those. Good morning, Charles.
Good morning, Jess. Well, this morning we're taking a look at Iowa's 2nd Congressional District in Northeast Iowa, starting with what Republican voters can expect on their ballot looking to Cerro Gordo County, specifically Mason City Ward 1, Precinct 1. So this is what your ballot's going to look like. The Republican candidate to represent Iowa's 2nd Congressional District is Ashley Hinson. She is the current representative for the district. For Republican voters, the state senator District 30, your 2 candidates are Waylon Brown, the current senator for this district, and Doug Campbell. Now looking to another vote on the ballot for State Representative District 59, with the Republican candidate being Christian Hermanson. The Board of Supervisor District 3 has Carl Gnapp. There is no candidate for county auditor, but you can always write in a vote for a candidate today when you're out to vote today. The county sheriff Republican candidates are David Hepperly and Matt Klunder. Now breaking down the Democratic candidates for the voters in Clear Lake Ward 3 to represent Iowa's 2nd Congressional District as candidate is Sarah Corkery. For Democratic voters, this is what your ballot will look like today. For State Senator District 30, your 1 candidate is Richard Lawrence, or you can write in a vote as well when you're out today. The Democratic State Representative District 59 candidate is Jeremy True. Taking a look at the candidate for Board of Supervisor District 3, we have Lori M. Gnapp. The county auditor has Adam Wedmer as the Democratic candidate, and for County Sheriff Brian Koob. So these are just sample ballots that you can find on your county auditor website. That's where I found those. You're able to just print them out. Great to do some research ahead of heading out to the polls this morning, starting at 7 a.m. in Iowa.
Yeah, good reminder to research those candidates and make the best choice. Thank you so much, Charles. Making headlines this morning across the nation, a fast-moving wildfire is forcing thousands of evacuations in Northern California. The Coral Fire is burning just outside of the city of Tracy, that's south of Sacramento. Officials say only 1 home has been destroyed by the flames, but 2 firefighters were also hurt. So far, it has scorched more than 14,000 acres and is 75% contained. This is the first and largest wildfire in the state so far this year, fueled by extremely dry conditions and strong wind. Investigators are still trying to determine what sparked the fire. A jury of 12 people and 4 alternates has officially been seated in Delaware in the historic federal gun trial against Hunter Biden. The son of President Biden is accused of lying about being an active drug user on a government form to obtain a firearm. He is pleading not guilty to 3 counts tied to possession of a gun while using narcotics. President Biden is expected to sign off on an executive order regarding migrants seeking asylum at the southern border. According to 3 people familiar with discussions, the order would temporarily shut down asylum seekers if daily crossings exceed 2,500 between ports of entry and would reopen when the number falls below 1,500 daily crossings. Sources say some details are still being finalized before today's anticipated rollout. The Department of Homeland Security says daily encounters at the border are currently averaging higher than 4,000, and that does suggest a shutdown could take effect immediately. Closer to home, a small business in Iowa is helping other entrepreneurs learn the ropes through a new online game. Logic Products in Iowa City is part of the inspiration. Libby Randall is sharing how they were able to turn their trials and errors into a way to help build this type of platform.
Small business owners have a new learning opportunity thanks to inspiration from a small business. It's an online game called Super Selling.
We got asked to make a game that put people in the shoes of a real small business owner and all the choices they have to make and obstacles that they face and victories that they have.
Players make decisions on everything from payroll and taxes to digital advertising and signing on with a partner. It's inspired by several different small businesses, including one in Iowa City. Logic Products is an online company selling plant-based hair products.
The opportunity to participate allowed us to share our experiences, some of which we learned just by mistakes and, trial and error.
According to the Small Business Administration, there are around 33 million small and medium-sized businesses in the U.S., which is why several small business owners, including leaders with Logic Products, say a tool like this can help educate others.
We can share what we've learned so that we can compete against the large consumer product goods companies that we do compete with, and able to find customers without having the types of budgets they have.
It is 6:11 on this Tuesday, also a first alert day. When we return, meteorologist Ted Schmidt will have all you need to know about the potential for some strong storms later on today. Good morning on this Tuesday, also a first alert day as we come to you live from our digital studio. And we're in here today because we're having an important and much needed audio upgrade happening today. So we're so grateful for our engineers who have been working to get us a needed part, and they'll be installing that hopefully this morning. So stay tuned for us to return to our studio. But right now we're here where our digital magic happens, and you've got a lot to talk about.
Yeah, a lot of things happening today. Of course, we've been tracking, the severe weather risk today. Of course, it's also a primary day in North Iowa, so a lot of people are concerned about the weather that will impacting the tail end of the day. Now, ahead of that, a very quiet morning. We are enjoying a very peaceful, mild, summer-like morning. Of course, we are in meteorological summer. It certainly feels like summer. Temperatures 60s to around 70. There's a little touch of humidity in the air and blue skies overhead. Really nice looking morning. That's the current scene from some of our Lewis Stidaldo cameras across the area. Thus far, a peaceful day. It may not remain peaceful all day, though. We do have a first alert day as we track the possibility of severe weather starting as early as 4 o'clock this afternoon and lasting into the evening hours. Strong to severe storms, large hail, damaging winds, and maybe even some locally heavy downpours of rainfall. It does not look like we'll see as much of the rain as we saw on Sunday in spots, because these lines will be moving a little more quickly than that, but still the threat of rain on top of some soil that has already absorbed a lot of rain in recent days. Here's the setup on the Future Track satellite radar for us. Quiet weather, just a thin veil of cirrus clouds, but rain to the west of us. Nothing that's looking severe so far, but that's going to be the origin of storms that impact our area. Those showers to the west with that approaching cold front, that will be the focus of storm chances for us later on. They'll arrive in our area as early as 4 o'clock. Now, ahead of that, there's maybe a chance for a brief shower. The severe weather risk starts around 4 o'clock and goes until about 10 o'clock area-wide later today. From the Storm Prediction Center, everything in orange in this map is level 2 risk and the daily outlook. So we're looking 2 of 5 in that scale. Large hail, damaging winds, the primary concerns today to go with that. Locally heavy rain, tornadoes, low level risk, not completely impossible though at this point, as we've seen in recent times. It does happen from time to time. Even landspout tornadoes can develop in this type of scenario. Here's the setup for the timing. 4 to 10 o'clock, we're looking at large hail, damaging winds in some of those storms in that red area here as the showers develop, and then end around midnight tonight. Signal Hill, right here, we're looking outside. We see the blue sky overhead from the studio. And here in Rochester, it's 65 degrees. Winona, 64. Mason City, 65 degrees. We have sunshine and a little bit of a south breeze that will develop and get a little gusty today. Temperatures in the 80s. Look for a brief shower or two, maybe in parts of the area during the early afternoon. But after 4 o'clock, that line of storms moves in and impacts the area all the way through about 10 o'clock. The showers overall not completely done until maybe midnight, and then clearing off later tonight with a diminishing breeze. Tomorrow, another gusty day as another front moves through. That'll generate brief showers in the afternoon, but very hit or miss activity, not severe, but a shower chances here and there from about 2 p.m. until just after sunset tomorrow evening. Temperatures in the 70s, and then another breezy but drier day on Thursday as cool air continues to funnel into the area. And by the time we get to Thursday, a cooler than average day with highs only around 70. The days that follow, less breezy and drier yet. Look for high temperatures in mid-70s to the weekend, and looks terrific, in fact, that weekend time frame. And our forecast today, breezy and warm afternoon thunderstorms, 83 south winds will reach 25 miles per hour at times. Again, the strongest storms after 4 p.m. today. Showers and thunderstorms this evening, then clearing skies later tonight, a low of 55 overnight. And your 7-day forecast, high temperatures in the 70s over the coming days. breezy for tomorrow and Thursday, and then the weekend looking really pleasant. Very quiet weather picture with mid-70s for highs. But again, today, of course, is the first alert day. That's where you see that your eyes are drawn to that red there, and that certainly is the day today, the time of greatest concern right now.
Yeah, and if you don't have our weather app, that is such a helpful tool to keep your family safe.
It is, yeah. You can keep ahead of the storm and know when it's time to seek shelter.
Okay, thank you, Ted. It is 6:18. School may be out for the summer, but some students are still wrapping up sports season. So just ahead, we're going to meet our athletes of the week, and they're from Mayo High School. Back in a moment.
KTTC weather. Athlete of the week this week, our honorees are better as a team, as a group of friends, breaking records on the track, and now these Mayo Spartans have their eyes set on later this week as they look to win big at state. Our Nathan Hawkins has more.
The thing that's unique about the 4x1 is it's not an individual event. You need each and every one of your teammates to be able to pull through and do their job, because one mistake can mess up the entire race.
Success in the 4x100 meter relay race takes much more than speed. It takes honesty and trust. And for the Mayo Spartans foursome, that comes naturally.
Since 7th grade, like, we've all been, I would say best friends, but we've all been like extremely good friends since around 7th grade.
We're always like telling each other what we could work on, what we can do better. Like if one of us gets off slow, we'll literally just tell each other, we'll be like, you're not getting off like fast, like you gotta get moving, you know?
That kind of honesty reaped rewards for the Spartans as the four-pronged attack of Carter Holcomb, Sebastian Bari, Logan Rautke, and Joseph Boguslawski ran their best race yet in the Section 1 3A Championship on Saturday.
The race went off, handoff 1, handoff 2, handoff 3, and was like, oh my gosh, we have a shot. And then finally at the lean, I'm sitting next to Coach Holcomb and his son and his wife, and we're like, oh, it's 41s. It's got to be 41s. And you take a look, it's 41.73, and it's like, oh my gosh, they did it.
41.73 seconds, not just edging out the previous section record, but beating it by nearly half a second.
I know I said surreal already, but it just feels so surreal. I got the baton from Sebastian. I couldn't hear anybody behind me, so I was running as fast as I possibly could. And the second Joseph crossed the line, I saw 41.73, and it was like one of the best feelings, I guess, of the day.
It was an accomplishment that the Spartans had in their sights.
We were pretty confident. We knew that we had one of the best times going into there, and that we definitely knew that we could get faster than what we have, break 42, which we did.
But while records will one day be broken, the Spartans are chasing something that will live forever.
Our goal together is to win state. I mean, that's like cool and all, breaking all these records, but we're focused on one thing together.
That focus is evident on a rainy morning 2 days ahead of the state tournament, putting in the work to try and reach the ultimate goal.
I don't have to do much to keep them grounded. They're a confident group, but they also realize, you know, just keep working hard and do what we ask, and we have a shot.
None of us are nervous because we know what we can do, but we come in there with confidence, and we expect the best of ourselves and like each other.
3 of the runners are juniors, but for Holcomb, this is his last ride, and he couldn't imagine a better way to go out than with this group.
And these guys are awesome, bro. They're super fun guys. They don't care too much about other people and stuff. They just like to be happy, like to enjoy the time, cherish the moments that we have together, because this is my last year. They'll 3 be coming back next year, but to be able to go out last year with some guys that enjoy what they're doing and having fun, it's a blessing, man.
The Mayo boys 4x100.
Okay, we'll see y'all in state. See y'all in state.
KTTC's Athletes of the Week.
That's it for sports this morning. Have a great Tuesday, everyone.
KTTC Athlete of the Week brought to you by Hiller's Flooring.
This morning, musician and former Gossip Girl star Taylor Momsen is seemingly taking things in stride after she was bitten by a bat while on stage in Spain last week. Momsen and her band, the Pretty Reckless, were in the middle of performing a song when a bat latched onto her thigh. That's crazy. A video posted to her Instagram page showed the exact moment she asked crew members for some help. A number of people ran onto the stage. Then the bat is seen flying away seconds later. The video also showing footage of the star at what appears to be a hospital getting shots in her leg. Momsen says she will undergo rabies shots for the next 2 weeks. Not fun. Pop icon Cyndi Lauper is planning her first major tour in more than a decade and says this will also be her last. Events promoter Live Nation says the Girls Just Want to Have Fun farewell tour will have Lauper headlining shows in 23 cities across North America and That includes one at Target Center in Minneapolis, and that's on December 4th. Pre-sale tickets are available today ahead of the general sale that starts on Friday. The two-time Grammy winner also has a new documentary coming out that focuses on her life and career. I've always loved her. It is 6:27 on this Tuesday morning. New details from police about possible teens involved in the racial slur incident that happened on a bridge near Century High School. Plus, a great tradition continuing Rochester, bringing fun and fitness together. We have all the details coming up, and Kelsey Merrier will be in after the break as we're taking turns this morning in our digital studio. Have a good morning.
Sleeping should be the most relaxing part of your day, but if snoring